What's up, everyone? True Techno Gamer here. Thanks for listening to another video. Please subscribe to the channel, please. If you haven't, share it, pass the word, and comment. Comment. Let me know that you're listening. Let's talk, have a dialogue. So, for this video, a little bit late, but I still got to touch on it. I still got to put it out there. I want to talk about the Xbox Series X, which has finally been unveiled at the Game Awards, which took place in December. It's out there, man. So next gen is starting. Microsoft wanted to get ahead of Sony. They wanted to get ahead of the discussion. And they kind of surprised everyone by releasing this trailer that highlighted the Xbox Series X. And the key point of that trailer is that they actually showed what the system would look like, which is like pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, the box looks different, to say the least, right? If you look at it, it basically looks like a PC. And that's because it pretty much is a PC, right? It doesn't look like a traditional console. So every console up until this point has basically been wider and kind of meant to lay horizontal on a TV shelf or a TV stand kind of thing. This is a vertical tower, right? That is kind of like a 3D rectangle, right? And it's taller than anything, and but it's pretty big as well. And the size of it is important because it shows the caliber of components and hardware that is actually built in it, right? Which we knew because, as I've been saying, and we kind of knew, you know, Microsoft and Sony are really trying to push the envelope for this next gen. You know, Xbox One and PS4 were pretty conservative, right, from a hardware standpoint. So for this one, they're really trying to push. They're really trying to push the envelope. And to do that, it's going to require some key innovations and kind of thinking outside the box of a console in order to really achieve a level of power that will compete with high-end PCs. Notice I said compete, not exceed necessarily, but compete with high-end PCs. And ultimately deliver, top-notch experiences for the next 5 years or so. So, the form factor is interesting because it shows exactly that. They're thinking outside the box, and they have gone away with a lot of console traditions. So when people are predicting the specs and the power of the console, they initially are going in with a lot of assumptions based on how previous consoles have been. And now they're showing, like, look, we're bucking that trend, right? They still haven't finalized all the specs specifically, but they, in this announcement, Phil Spencer, right, head of Xbox, on stage at the Game Awards, he spoke briefly about the system and said a couple key things. The biggest thing he said was he put the power in context of the existing Xbox hardware, right? So he specifically said that the system overall is about 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X. And he also said that the graphics power is about 2 times more powerful than the Xbox One X and about 8 times more powerful than the original Xbox One. Okay, without giving us specific numbers, that tells the story. So the biggest revelation there is, for those that aren't really privy to this stuff, the internet world and a lot of the gaming community has been up in arms for this past year, trying to predict the specs for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X now, right? That's what it's called. Trying to predict the specs and figure out how powerful these things are really going to be, and ultimately what can we expect in terms of gaming experiences on them. And a big part of that has been trying to guess how powerful the graphics card is going to be. Now, for some reason, a lot of people have been really conservative in their estimations, right? Okay, let's keep this in perspective here. The original Xbox One, in terms of the best metric that we can use for evaluating GPU performance, graphics performance objectively, is this teraflop rating, right? The teraflops is trillions of floating operations per second. All you need to know is that a floating operation, I should say, is a key mathematical component that's used for a lot of the calculations that are required for graphics. Okay, so the higher number of flops that a GPU can do in general, it just means that the more graphics it can process in a given time. And so that's the general metric that people are using. Now, for reference, the Xbox One, the original Xbox One, had a GPU that finally launched, of 1.3 teraflops. And they eventually increased that for the Xbox One S by overclocking it to give you about 1.5 teraflops. The PlayStation 4 has 1.8 teraflops. So it was initially a good chunk faster than the original Xbox One, right? 1.3 to 1.8. The PlayStation 4 Pro bumped that up to 4.2 teraflops. And then the Xbox One X bumped that up to 6 teraflops. And the 6 teraflops is important because it's exactly 4 times the Xbox One S. It's actually more than 4 times over the Xbox One. And that's important because the Xbox One X was all about 4K graphics, and 4K, no coincidence, is 4 times the number of pixels required for HD. So the Xbox One X was designed basically to take Xbox One games and play them back at 4K. Thus, you get your 4 times increase, right? So, by Phil Spencer saying that the Xbox Series X is 2 times the Xbox One X graphic-wise, 6 times 2 is what? 12 teraflops. Now, that's been a number that I have personally thrown around and saying it was entirely possible because I know that they are pushing the envelope. And that's a whole nother video, but basically, double-digit teraflops was definitely in the cards for both next-gen systems. And everyone was basically saying somewhere between 11 and 13 teraflops was kind of the targets. So the fact that it's 12 is right in the middle of that, and it's kind of vindicating because it just is like, yep, told you so. Whereas a lot of people, again, were being really conservative and saying 8 teraflops and 9 teraflops. It's like, this is a next-gen system. The Xbox One X already has 6. And it jumped up 4x from the Xbox One in a period of 3-4 years. So it has to be more than that for a full next-gen, system, a next-gen jump. So another conversation. I don't know why people are being so conservative, but yeah. We're looking at something that's probably around 12 teraflops. He didn't give an exact number. He just said 2 times the power. So the final number is probably going to be plus or minus 1 teraflop from there, right? Maybe 11 point something, but it's going to be around 12. And that's pretty damn powerful, guys. And that kind of graphics requires a lot of heat dissipation and a pretty robust cooling solution. And that's why the form factor of the Series X looks the way it does, because it requires a lot of space to cool and to dissipate that heat. And it probably has a pretty robust fan. And you got to keep those components cool. That's the key. That's why you just can't go crazy with power, because it just generates too much heat. And a console is not like a huge PC tower, right? That has all of this space and huge fans and stuff like that. A console needs to fit in your living room and be quiet. You don't want to hear a fan whizzing around all the time. It has to be quiet, it has to be cool, it has to be relatively small. That's the conundrum, right, for building console hardware especially. So they're bucking that in a way. I mean, this box it's not as big as you might think it is, but it's still, pretty big and thick. And the fact that it's standing vertical means that it won't fit in a lot of TV shows, including my own. So, you got to sit it up top like you would like an Alexa speaker, I guess. And that's kind of what they're going for, is, people are embracing different types of form factors in their home. And, so we can do that. Okay. I don't think that's going to be a big deal for most people. They'll adjust and fit it where they can fit it. But yeah, it's bucking the trend there. The size being bigger, and we obviously don't know how loud it is yet, but it's interesting. At first, when I saw it, I thought it was pretty lame. I just thought it looked like a plain PC, like a mini PC kind of thing. But over time and just kind of getting some perspective, I think it is cool. I think it is a cool form factor. I think it is a cool design. I'm still not crazy about it, but it's a cool design. Of course, it'll be something when you see it in person, but the green light at the top, I think, is a nice touch. We'll see what all the ports are going to be. But Series X, man, it's here. 12 teraflops-ish. It's really powerful, man. Really powerful system. SSD built in. Zen 2 processor for the CPU, which is going to be way above what we're what we have had in the Jaguar. So yeah, looking forward to getting more information about it, and of course, getting more information from Sony's side with the PS5. But overall, it's grown. The design has grown on me a bit. I'm pretty excited to see what Phil and team come up with next. And I think it was kind of bold of them to do that at the Game Awards and kind of really show the form factor this early, a full year out from launch. I think that's pretty bold, but you got to be bold. They're trying to win. They're trying to beat Sony, and Sony has dominated this gen, so they got to do some stuff. And so I applaud that. So Xbox Series X, we don't really, we know it's coming holiday time frame 2020. We know that Series X also speaks to the fact that there's probably going to be multiple Xboxes, and Series X is the high-end version of it. So there you have it, folks. Xbox Series X coming holiday 2020, looking pretty good. A unique console, unlike anything we've seen before, and it should be an exciting time when that goes head-to-head with PlayStation 5 later this year. Till then, True Techno Gamer signing off. Thanks for listening.